Hello, interweb. It is I, Mr. Hosking, here to talk to you today about Napoleon, the great Napoleon, the 5'5" monster of France who comes and creates peace and then creates havoc throughout the land of Europe with his evil, maniacal, crazy self. Even though he was so short, he was still big in stature, if you will. Napoleon grasps the power from France. One of my favorite terms. Again, we're working with France. We're talking about French terms, and really French, although they're very good white flag makers, they're also really good at making words sound nice. And here we're going to see the word coup d'état, and it just rolls off your tongue. It's actually three words, and translated to English, it's blow to state, but coup d'état. Napoleon, first, before he seizes power, is a phenomenal general for France. He defends them from invading nations. He creates stability in France. He reunites the entire French Empire and gets them safe from other European nations. His ability to create this safety and peace creates peace throughout all of Europe. But he wants control. He wants political control. So Napoleon takes his army now that has 100% loyalty to him and not to France, and marches into Paris with his army. And he shows up to the government and he says, "I'm now the ruler of France." And the government's like, "Ha ha ha, Napoleon, you kidder, you can't just do that." And Napoleon's like, "Well, if you go look at the army out in the streets." Outside of this building, they would disagree with you. They would say that I'm actually the leader of France. So you can leave, or you can be arrested and executed. It's up to you. This is a coup d'état. It's the taking away of power from one body and giving it to another party, a party or person. But it's relatively violent free. There's not a lot of bloodshed. It's usually generally peaceful with a change of leadership. Napoleon's success in battle, I said this, his diplomacy with other European countries leads to peace. So France gets this period of time where they're able to have peace. He rules France. He creates a new constitution, a fourth constitution. How many constitutions can one country possibly have? He gives France order and stability. He creates a uniform set of laws known as the Napoleonic Code. This applies to everyone. It's seen as really fair. It unites the upper class and the lower class. The third estate from earlier talks and first and second estates are all now treated the same under the law. This makes average French people very, very happy. They like this system. He creates a school system that applies to everyone. And eventually, he has the Pope come to France, to Paris, to crown him Emperor of Paris. And then at the last minute, when the Pope is about to grab the crown, Napoleon grabs it himself, because no one, not even the Pope of the Catholic Church, no one in the world is good enough to crown Napoleon Emperor of France except Napoleon. This is a complete narcissist, somebody that's totally into themselves. You notice in your notes, there's a huge chart that you need to fill in. I'm going to ask you to pause the video again, get all of this stuff. You can see from the beginning of the revolution, when they start to move away from the king, all of the things that they're looking to have. And Napoleon fills these needs. He actually is able to create a system of equal taxation with a stable economy. He creates an honest government without corruption. He's able to create a religious tolerance in France and allow a less powerful Catholic Church. So we can see that Napoleon does achieve the goals of the revolution. Make sure you pause your video. This is important to get all of this stuff into that chart. Napoleon's going to create an empire. He tries to expand his empire into the Americas, but he fails. Saint Dominique is an island split in half. Half of it is Haiti. The other half of it is the Dominican Republic. And Napoleon tries to expand into the Dominican Republic. He fails, and he decides to give up on the New World. He doesn't want to create an empire in the New World anymore. So he makes this really smart move by selling the Louisiana Purchase to James Madison, who was the vice president for Thomas Jefferson, and he's able to expand or double or triple the size of the United States in one purchase. And we see the United States become a lot bigger and a lot stronger because of it. So the United States buys Louisiana Territory from Napoleon, and then Napoleon starts to focus his energy and efforts on Europe, and he starts to conquer most of Europe. But he suffers one major loss, and it's the Battle of Trafalgar. It's a naval battle with England. England's smaller ships, faster ships, better commanded, are able to defeat the French fleet, and this is going to cause long-term problems for Napoleon in France, but it's important to know that he loses that. Next time we talk, we're going to talk about the collapse of Napoleon's empire. He's able to conquer almost all of continental Europe, and then very quickly he is going to collapse from that by making three costly mistakes. I'll see you next time. Again, this is Mr. Hosking for World History.